Have you ever felt completely annihilated? I mean, rock bottom, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. wondering if you even know who you are anymore. Completely paralyzed by life's sheer weight? Maybe you're navigating a painful divorce, a massive career failure, or just a deep, draining sense that your life lacks meaning. That gut-wrenching feeling of being stuck in the mud, unable to move forward, is universal, but we often treat it like a personal flaw. We try to numb it, push it down, or pretend it's not there. But what if that feeling, that horrible, crushing darkness, is actually the most important message you could ever receive, a profound invitation to grow? If you're ready to stop just surviving and start truly transforming your hardest times, then buckle up, because we are diving deep into the powerful, often misunderstood wisdom of Carl Jung. Hello everyone. It's wonderful to connect with you all today. Let's be real, Carl Jung is often seen as this super intense, esoteric psychologist, the guy who talked about archetypes and the collective unconscious. And maybe you think his ideas are too complicated for a regular person, just trying to make it through Monday. But I promise you, when life hits you with a sledgehammer, Jung's quotes aren't just academic musings. They become actual survival tools, blueprints for navigating the emotional wreckage. We're going to unlock 5 specific quotes that shine a light directly into the darkest corners of your current struggle, proving that your pain isn't meaningless. It's actually pregnant with potential, waiting to birth a stronger version of you. Jung taught us that the greatest tragedies in life occur when we are completely unaware of our own inner world. He coined the term, the shadow, and before you freak out, no, this isn't about being inherently evil. The shadow is simply the part of yourself that you have rejected, the traits you found inconvenient, embarrassing, or unacceptable. So you stuff them deep into the basement of your psyche. When hard times arrive, guess who comes marching out of that basement? All that unintegrated stuff, usually manifesting as irrational anger, uncontrollable fear, or self-sabotage, making your crisis exponentially worse because you're fighting the world and yourself. Jung famously said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." Think about that for a second. We spend so much energy trying to be perpetually positive, seeking only the light, believing that if we just wish hard enough, the darkness will disappear. But Jung argues that true healing isn't achieved by skipping over the dark parts. It's achieved by facing them head-on, turning on the flashlight and saying, "Okay, shadow, what unlived potential are you screaming about?" This confrontation, while terrifying, is the start of truly integrating your personality, making you whole and incredibly resilient when the next inevitable storm hits. The first essential quote for navigating hard times focuses intensely on interpersonal struggles, especially when you feel misunderstood or betrayed. The meeting of 2 personalities is like the contact of 2 chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. When you are in crisis, sometimes the people you love the most either disappoint you deeply or, conversely, step up in ways you never imagined. Jung reminds us that every interaction during your struggle is transformative. If a relationship breaks, it's because the chemical reaction was explosive, forcing an immediate, painful change. If it strengthens, both parties emerge fundamentally different and stronger, having metabolized the shared stress. This quote forces us to accept the chemical reality of pain. We want stability, comfort, and predictability, but transformation requires volatility. It requires the old structures, the old ways of relating, the old habits of coping to be dissolved. This is why hardship feels so intensely destructive, because it is literally dissolving the weaker elements of your life, whether those are relationships built on superficial foundations or simply your own outdated beliefs about your capabilities. Your discomfort isn't a sign you are doing something wrong. It's a sign that the reaction is successfully underway, burning away the dross to reveal the gold. Now, let's talk about the profound, heavy loneliness that often accompanies deep crisis. You feel completely isolated, like no one could possibly understand the specific contours of your grief or anxiety. We often mistake this isolation for failure. We think, if I were better, happier, or more successful, I wouldn't be standing here alone. This is where the powerful second quote steps in, offering radical permission to be different. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. Jung is telling us here that your personal inferno, your specific hell of suffering, is a necessary rite of passage. If you try to jump over the fire, you never actually develop the psychological strength to master those challenging emotions. Hard times compel you to sit in that fire, the fear, the anxiety, the sadness, and by enduring it, you overcome the passions that once controlled you. This isn't spiritual bypassing. This is psychological metallurgy, forging inner strength through extreme pressure. This quote encourages us to stop running from our internal landscape and realize that the depth of our emotional experience is not a weakness, but the source of our future wisdom. For Jung, the journey out of hardship is synonymous with individuation, the process of becoming the unique, whole self you were meant to be. Separate from the expectations of your parents, society, or culture. During hard times, the external world often fails us. Our job is lost, our social supports vanish, or our established routines collapse. This collapse is painful, yes, but it serves a crucial function. It forces you to look inward and discover what is truly authentic and non-negotiable within your own spirit. If you lose everything external, who are you at your core? This brings us to the third core realization, addressing how we gain clarity when the path ahead seems completely obscured. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes. Think about how much time we spend during a crisis scrolling, asking friends for advice, watching the news, trying to find an external answer or distraction. Jung is saying that those external attempts are merely dreams, illusions that keep us passive. Real clarity, the kind that guides you through an impossible situation, is found only when you stop seeking external validation and turn your gaze inward. This process of looking into your heart is where the true work of Jungian psychology happens. It means engaging with your dreams, your fantasies, and your intense emotional reactions, not dismissing them as noise. These signals from your subconscious are the vital data points your conscious mind needs to solve the crisis. When you finally listen to the quiet, authentic voice within, you realize the resources needed to solve your external problems were residing inside you all along, just waiting for conscious recognition. The fourth quote tackles the heavy spiritual and psychological weight of inaction during a crisis. It speaks directly to the crushing anxiety of being stuck, paralyzing us from making the necessary hard changes. The greatest burden a child must bear is the unlived life of its parents. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What does this have to do with my financial stress? Everything, my friends. Jung isn't just talking about your actual parents. He's talking about the ancestral or societal patterns, the generational trauma, the expectations, the fear of change that you unconsciously carry when you are facing a massive challenge. The temptation is to fall back on safe inherited patterns, even if those patterns led to unhappiness for those before you. Jung's quote is a fierce call to psychological emancipation. Your current crisis is demanding that you break free from the unlived life handed down to you, requiring you to make brave, authentic choices that might be completely foreign to your family or community. The greatest burden isn't the hardship itself. It's the refusal to live authentically because of fear of refusal. That will inevitably be passed down. This leads us to the final, most transformative quote, one that ties the necessity of suffering directly to the promise of growth. This is the ultimate reassurance that your pain has a noble purpose. I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. This quote is pure agency. During hard times, it is incredibly easy to adopt the identity of the victim, the person to whom terrible things happened. We allow the event to define us, becoming a label we wear forever. Jung flips the script entirely. He acknowledges that events happen to you, the loss, the betrayal, the failure, but he fiercely asserts that your identity is determined not by the past trauma, but by the conscious decisions you make now about who you will be moving forward. Your hard times are not a final chapter. They are merely the raw, challenging materials you need to build your new self. The power lies in the choice, right here, right now, to step into your potential and refuse to be contained by the narrative of failure. So how do we integrate these powerful concepts into our daily lives when we're barely holding it together? It starts with radical self-honesty, embracing the shadow, and sitting quietly, even for just 5 minutes, to listen to what your heart is trying to tell you amidst the chaos. Jungian wisdom isn't about quick fixes. It's about deep, sustained internal work, journaling your dreams, accepting your contradictions, and most importantly, recognizing that the process of becoming whole individuation is the entire point of human existence. And hard times are simply the catalyst. This journey is rough, sometimes terrifying, but utterly essential. Remember, every challenge you face right now is designed, in a profound psychological sense, to make you stronger and more whole. You possess the internal resources to not only survive this current difficulty, but to emerge profoundly transformed and wiser. You are building resilience that no external factor can ever take away. Realizing that the treasure you sought externally has been buried within you all along, hidden only by the fear of looking inside. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into Carl Jung's incredible guidance for when life feels utterly overwhelming. I truly hope these insights give you the courage to face your own darkness and start mining the gold hidden within your hardest times. If this video resonated with you, if one of these quotes hit home and offered you a moment of clarity or emotional relief, please do me a huge favor. Hit that like button. Drop a comment below telling me which Jung quote means the most to you right now. And definitely subscribe if you want more videos that help you transform challenges into power. And of course, share this with anyone you know who might be struggling. Let's spread this powerful wisdom. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.